dumb as shit.
That's where we're starting.
That's where we're starting. There you go.
Thank you.
Everybody wondering, my son entered the room pantsless.
All the way pantsless.
Literally, just dick out. Just, what's up, guys? How you doing?
Confidence, sky high. Charisma, sky high.
I give my son the A on his his true confidence in himself. However, his knowledge, he's got that from me.
I mean, we can't be perfect, right? So, yeah.
He's very much got my confidence to my intelligence levels.
So far, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, very confident to not so smart.
Yeah. I mean, he's, to be fair, he's 4 going on 5.
So what we're saying is I have the intelligence of a toddler.
Yeah,
so
that's about right. Yeah.
So anyways, moving on. Welcome back to the Lousy Show. I'm Joe.
I'm Sam.
And we hope you're enjoying your stay here. If so, smack the subscribe button and the like button.
And check out the Discord
and all that good stuff.
Emails.
But we're going to jump right in today.
Yeah.
Because this is something that we find is going to be hilarious to provide to anybody who needs it, especially if you saw the title. Seeing as how you and I have been off the dating scene for...
It's been over 7 years for me.
And over 5 for me.
Yeah.
No.
6.
6. Yeah, over 6 for me.
Because y'all started dating a little bit after we did. Because, we started dating in 2016.
Yeah.
So it'd be 6 years.
Yeah. Jeez.
Which is crazy. But yeah, so we're going to be, if you actually need the advice, don't listen to us. But we're going to be giving some dating advice.
Yeah. This is lousy dating advice. And some of it might help. Some of it might not.
I mean, sometimes you just need to jump out. Like you need to get out of your box and think differently if we're not having luck on certain things. Right. And this can apply to a lot of facets in life. Not just dating, if you're struggling with something, get outside of yourself. I might not do it with this advice, but it's another way of thinking, and it's. So
the first tip we're going to give you, no. No. Anyways,
no.
Just. Cut that out.
I'm not cutting that
God
out.
damn it.
No, that'll probably be a clip on TikTok.
Oh shit. Anyways, no, I think we might have some knowledge, but also the dating scene's changed a lot. So we'll see. Let's see how well this plays out.
Yeah, because let's start here. Did you use any apps at all?
Be more specific.
Like Tinder, and then now there's like Bumble, Hinge, and like a million other fucking ones out there.
I want to say yes, if I remember correctly. So this is going to throw back about a decade ago when Tinder really was just the only one on the scene. Mm-hmm. And when my ex and I, who shall not be named, who you remember very, very well, and I broke up, I went through a pretty depressive state after that. And so I didn't really want to be on anything. However, when I kind of had my great awakening, and that's what I'm calling it because it was a life changer. I downloaded Tinder, put a profile out there. I got some matches, but never really got anything.
Yeah.
Until my hoe phase. And that's when it was just I had lost about, what was it? I think I lost 100 pounds.
Oh, I mean, going back to your son, charisma sky high.
Oh,
confidence sky high.
Oh my God, I lost 100 pounds. I started packing a muscle.
Didn't have pants on either.
Most of the time I didn't. Most of the time I didn't. But that's when it was my great awakening of I was
just double checking.
See, yeah.
We hadn't done it this episode, so I'm just double checking.
Yeah. But I had the great awakening, and when I entered my hoe phase is when I started using Tinder, which I found realistically, and this is apparently something that's common today, is that's basically what Tinder's for. It's just for hookups.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's kind of like a natural thing, we're very much in a kind of hookup culture.
Yeah.
In this country, at least.
But I would like to bring us to number one on this. It is okay to bone on the first date.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is tip number one.
That's-
Sam,
Now-
future Sam, start a list.
There's gonna be a long list.
Yeah.
Also, asterisk. That doesn't mean you have to.
Correct.
Yeah. But it's okay to.
Yeah, like I've heard some pretty strong success stories from people. Like you had brought up Bumble and like Hinge and all these other apps. I know some success stories where I have friends from here, back home, all over the U.S. who have used these apps who were single, and some of them went on a hookup and ended up they're now like 6-7 months deep in a relationship. Yeah. And part of it too was the fact that they like night one they knew both of them, they were like, oh yeah, we're just here to get laid, and it was like connection, and they were both like, yeah, you're kind of cool, yeah, you're kind of cool too, and then dating
and just keep
and
hanging
then
out.
boom,
Yeah.
and like, but it all like truthfully it started with very strong chemistry in the sheets, which I think is a very strong component to any relationship. But yeah, number one, like I think boning on the first date, or to your asterisk,
You don't have to.
you know, not is totally fine.
Well,
I think
it's a good check. I mean, so, like one, you have fun. Two, as you, of course, be safe when you're doing this.
Yes.
But you know, one, you have fun.
what we mean by that is like don't pull out.
What? You're just anti-advice today.
We are the Lousy Show.
I mean, yeah, but you're kind of taking it to a whole nother level.
You know what?
There's lousy and then there's wrong.
That is valid. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, it's almost like the initial filter, right?
Yeah.
Like, are you physically compatible with each other? Because for a lot of people, physical compatibility is a trait that people are looking for in a partner, and it definitely helps to be physically compatible in the sheets.
Absolutely. That's one thing you hear, like especially me and you both being married. Like we get a lot of married friends, and that's one thing you hear a lot of, unfortunately, in some marriages. Is just like they're not sexually compatible, and they never figured that out until way later when they were like, "We're in love. Oh, we don't know how to have sex. We're gonna stay together because we love each other." And at some point, your primal urge is gonna go, "No, the fuck you're not." Like, no, the fuck you're not.
And that's when cheating happens, unfortunately.
Yes.
Like more often than not, that's just you can be really emotionally compatible with somebody and you can love them a lot.
Yeah.
But it just sometimes it's not, you know, on all spectrums of being.
Which brings us to number 2. Don't fucking cheat. If you're gonna, if you don't want to be with your person, leave them.
Yeah.
Seriously. And that's actual sound advice. That's not bullshit advice
no,
either.
no.
I know a lot of people look at me weird when I say that. It's 100% sound advice.
Yeah.
If you don't have compatibility with your partner, leave.
Yeah.
Because all you're doing is like you and your partner both are in this ride. It's like, and I want to preface this very strongly because I've had the same conversation with a lot of different people. I know you have as well.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what your sexuality is. It doesn't matter where you reside, whether it's if you're polyamorous or if you're very much monogamous or if you're gay, lesbian, bisexual, trans. It does not matter what you're working with, what your sexuality is. None of it. Your partner is your partner. Even in polyamory, it's still a 1-to-1. Yeah, it's still a 1-to-1 because you're with that person. They might be with other people, but it's your connection to them.
Yeah.
It is okay to walk away.
Yeah.
Seriously. Like, I wish so many people would just do that because they'd be finding they'd be so much happier.
Well, then it's like people try to drag it out and then they get bitter. And then it just becomes really ugly situations that nobody wanted to be in to begin with. Whereas if you were just open and honest, going back to a couple episodes again, communicate. Which we both said the same thing. Yeah. I don't know. So in that episode, you said communication. I said communicate. We just did the same thing. I know I did. And we're just going to continue with that.
Yes.
But yeah. So you just communicate. Like if you're not happy, talk about it. You know.
Oh, absolutely. And then, well, I don't even think that it's necessarily the talking about it.
Yeah.
It's the level in which you want to find a resolution.
Yeah.
If you want to try and make it work, talk with the intent to make it work.
Yeah.
But if you already know that you are prepared to put yourself on the market and get ridden like a fucking bull, leave.
Yeah.
Like, let your partner know, hey, I'm not feeling this anymore. The level of attachment might be different. They may feel, kind of rough by it. It might be blindsided. Who knows? But you got to be honest, because here's the thing, and this is something I've heard time and time again. You don't want to be 80 years old with the person you've hated for 50 years.
Yeah. Oh, that would drive me nuts.
Yeah. And so many people do that.
Yeah.
So many people do it because it's the norm. It's okay, well, I'm married now. All right.
Yeah.
I've seen people straight up get divorced and be like, look, Your Honor, neither one of us are happy. We don't like each other, like in that sense.
Yeah.
We're not even friends. It's better for us to just call it even. We'll split stuff down the middle. We'll take care of all that. You just sign the papers, we're out.
Yeah.
And honestly, I've heard times judges say like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Well, I'm sure they prefer those too, because then they're not having to work as hard. You know, they're just like, oh, y'all are cool. Like everything's good. All right, cool. Let's sign this document, sign this document. All right, that's it. We're done.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yes, no, I don't cheat. Just leave your partner first and then go have all the fun you want. Yeah, that's so important.
Yeah. I don't understand. And I'll admit that like there was a point where like I made a questionable decision, you know, where basically there was a relationship I was in that other things happened technically while we were still together, but with the intent to do it. It's just intent to leave the relationship. But that was also much younger me, and I should have said from the beginning, like, bye, you know.
Yeah.
And so that was live and learn. But you know,
although I have a perfect example of that.
what's that?
I mean, granted, the event was a one night stand, but it was. I was with a girl, and so long story short, she cheated on me.
Yeah.
Right before my birthday, and for those who don't know, my birthday is right before Christmas and like usually Thanksgiving too.
Yeah.
So the holiday season's right there. So she cheated on me right before that, and I was like, well, me being me and being the nice guy, I'm like, okay, I'll stay with her through the holidays, whatever. I stayed with her through the holidays. Make a long story short, we get to New Year's, and I'm like, I'm vibing with this other individual, not with the intent of having sex in any way or making any advances, but just vibing, chilling, having fun.
Yeah.
And the girlfriend who cheated on me called me later that evening and said, "Hey, where have you been all day?" And that's when I finally said, I was like, before I even think to myself, I want to go do something with this chick, I need to back off for a second.
Yeah.
And go, hey, I'm not going to get revenge on you. I'm just going to leave you. I'm done.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I did. I said, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. You're single. I'm single. That's it. I've cut the ties. That's it. We're done. Literally went to my apartment, got some stuff, came back to her apartment to hang out more, and ended up having one phenomenal night. But the thing is, like, that's the decision I had to make.
Yeah.
You have to make that decision, whether it's being in the heat of the moment or if you're already to the point where you're like, I'm just done.
Yeah.
You're like you said, you're going to get bitter if you don't. Mm-hmm. And that's the most important factor is you need to take you into account here.
Yeah.
Way before this gets attached.
Yeah.
Because this is just a very difficult situation to get out of if you're not happy. Like we said earlier, if you both are in the same agreement, it's a lot easier. But if you're dating or just in a relationship, it's so easy to go like, hey, I'm going to communicate with you real quick.
Yeah.
I'm not happy. I'm gonna go elsewhere.
Yeah.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Now, again, I want to say the emotional fallout might still be there from your partner or ex-partner, but that can be worked around easily. That just takes talking. They're probably gonna want to ask why at some point, and you can give your reasons, but it's just important to think about.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, regardless of the reasons, you know, if somebody, goddamn.
I got the thought.
Yep.
We do this every episode.
Yep. And we're going to probably continue doing this.
Yes.
It's never going to be professional. The only time I think that we'll never have to do this is like, let's say we finally upgrade away from cell phones and we have actual fucking cameras that have a red light on them, you know?
True.
Then we'll
or we have a crew doing this for us.
That would be even better. Yeah.
Yes.
But that's like the level above what I was just
I
talking
want to get
about,
to good
you know?
mythical morning status.
Oh, God. That's huge. I mean, while that would be great.
It would be.
Yeah, that's the next step would just be some cameras, maybe with a little red fucking blinking light on it instead of a team of people. But where was I going?
I don't know. Where were you going?
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah.
All right. Anyways,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I would say tip number 3. Do you have one?
That's what I was trying to think of. And I had one, and then now it's gotcha.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Tip number 3, dating tip number 3 that I think is very important. I'll give this. Know your locations. If you're going to date somebody, especially on the first date's one of the most important. It's when you're going to be getting to know somebody. Don't take them to the movies.
Yeah. I mean, while a dinner, like the classic like trope, right, is dinner and a movie, right?
Yeah.
There's no, like, I guess you can maybe gauge some interest from your person, but there's not much to really learn there.
The classic tropes are classic for a reason.
Yeah.
Because they deserve to stay in the classics.
Yeah.
Today's day and age, getting to know somebody ahead of time is the most important factor. And again, going back to the Tinder thing, like, look, if you know you're going for a hookup and you two end up in a long-term committed relationship, that's awesome.
Yeah.
If you can base the foundation of your successful relationship on honestly great sex, oh God, fantastic.
Yeah.
But not everybody can do that.
No.
So a lot of people in this situation, like going somewhere where you can't talk is not the smart move.
No.
You know, you can go dancing where technically you're not able to talk too much, but it's more of an intimate setting where you can whisper in their ear and kind of have that conversation. Or if the music's too loud, you can take a break from dancing and go over to the bar or go outside and have a nice conversation, have a drink, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's very interactive because that's also a very like intimate moment between you two of like, okay, how compatible are we? You know, are we able to kind of get the hips moving together and that kind of thing. So, but that's just my take. Like being able to go somewhere where you can actually have a conversation, a genuine conversation with that individual. Outside of the fact that, again, barring the fact that if you're a Tinder date and you just want to go fuck. Like,
Let me ask you this. My wife and I were recently on the Oregon coast for a wedding, and we had just finished with this wedding. We're tired and we're very hungry. And so we go to this restaurant that she really wanted to go to. And so we were there, and we've been talking and, doing all that all day.
Yeah.
And also we've been married, so, sometimes we just sit in silence, which that's totally fine. But we had some entertainment. There was a couple there on their first date, 2 tables down from us, and they were loud. Well, at least the guy was. The girl I could kind of hear.
Yeah.
But so here, this was interesting, and it sparked a conversation between my wife and I, which is the guy pulled up like a list of questions to ask on a first date on his phone. And so some of these were lighthearted and funny. Some of these were very serious, like how we got a dog together. The dog's sick. How are we going to handle it? I was just like, we're jumping a few hurdles right now. But my number one question is, 1, is it okay to bring a list of questions to ask? Which, we'll talk about that. And then 2, where does that, if it's okay, where does that list end? Like how far are we going?
I have never in my life thought about bringing a list.
It took us a little bit to realize what was happening.
Yeah.
And then once we realized it, we were like, oh shit, this is serious. And so we didn't talk.
Well, I think
we listened.
That's very fair. Yeah. Listen with intent, speak with honesty. But no, I've never in my life gone into a date with a list, maybe a mental checklist.
Yeah.
Of like, do you, one for me that's a deal breaker.
Yeah.
If you chew with your mouth open, I'm leaving.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like I don't want to see your food after it's been mulled over on your tongue.
Yeah.
But like there's certain things to check to see like and I admit like how do I say this? Okay, to answer your question, no, I've never had a list. However, I could see someone doing that in the situation that they're honestly like, if they were very honest with that individual beforehand, maybe in texting and be like, hey, or if it's a first date and they're just fresh out of the gate, like, hey, these are some things I thought about. Curious what you think about them too.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone. Thank you for watching this so far. We greatly appreciate you hanging out with us. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube or listening on any listening sites. Make sure to go follow us on there as well. And also, if you're watching the video, drop us a like and share it to your friends who might want some lousy advice as well. If you have any at all lousy advice that you want from us or any lousy ideas that you'd like us to cover, drop it in the actual comments down below or send it to us at thelousypodcast@gmail.com. You can also email us there anytime with any ideas you have. Back to the show. Now, asking if we have a dog together and that dog's dying and how are we going to handle this is a bit of a stretch for a first date.
Yeah. I mean, this was a bit into it. That wasn't some of the first questions. And we unfortunately missed the the opening act, we'll say. And you know, we were in about act 2, you know, where really the climax was really starting to happen.
Yeah.
You know, but
the
climax. But no, and so I mean I can't remember what they looked like or anything. Like, so I couldn't give you any gauge as to like age or anything else like that. But but it was just like we were at first thinking that like he was just asking these questions.
Yeah.
And we're just, this guy's fucking weird. And then we realized, we were like, oh, wait, he's got his phone out pulling up a list. Because at one point he was like, all right, let's see what's next on the list. And, we were like, what the fuck?
So here's my question, if I may ask to interject here.
Yeah.
What was her reaction?
So I was sitting to where I couldn't see them. My wife could see them, so I'll have to ask. But so follow up. No, I'm just kidding.
Continuation.
No, but she sounded receptive because she'd answer the questions, honestly.
Yeah.
And she was laughing. They seemed like they were having a good time. The wait staff was kind of in on it a little bit too. And so, like, I think she was kind of cool with it. And based off of, like, some of their responses, I think they were, like, getting back into the swing of dating from what it sounded like.
Yeah.
Just, like, some of the answers, like, because I think the guy said that he's a pilot and a couple other things like that. So, like, I can't remember exactly, but my guess would be, like, mid to late 20s, maybe early 30s as far as age. But she seemed mostly receptive to it.
You know what? Actually, now that you say that, I don't know if I would necessarily bring a list, but I could see someone doing that at our age.
Yeah. Oh,
because I think to myself, like, if I'm a husband, but I'm also a father.
Yeah.
So if I were to get back in the dating scene today, if my wife and I were to say, hey, this isn't working, we're done, and we leave and split, and now I have to make the decision: do I want to be alone, and just be a dad, or do I want to try and find someone else? I could see going into that relationship factor or going on a date with the intent to, like, hey, I ain't a spring chicken no more.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm thinking. Like, I would love to have this genuine conversation with you about what your wants are in a relationship, and here's mine.
Yeah.
You know, I would love to know that, because people our age, I would say it's a 50-50 split. People our age, especially those who have been in long-term relationships and or married, are more likely or more susceptible to either A, going on dates to fuck, or B, going on dates to find the next big one.
Yeah.
And there's really no, like, intermittent dating in between there.
Yeah.
Really.
And it is, so with that, it would be a good way to kind of filter out the stuff that you're not compatible with.
Yeah.
Right.
But I feel like this whole conversation is not leaning towards that.
I mean, I don't know. Like, it's a double-edged sword, because, like, I can see, like, for that personality type, like somebody that doesn't want to waste time, is very efficient, you know, just kind of doesn't want to do that. Of course, if they find somebody that is receptive to that, is already a green flag for that.
Yeah.
Because then at that point, you know, okay, they kind of have similar thinking to me, and, you know, and we kind of process things in a similar way, and don't mind kind of cutting through the awkwardness with just a list on the internet. You know? And so, like, it kind of makes sense to me, but I don't think I'm never that type of guy. Like, you know, I've never gone into a date with a list of things to talk about, you know. It's
never been that rigid.
No, I've always been just kind of like go with the flow and, you know, just like kind of see what happens. You know? But, like, I can see where that, for the right type of person, to potentially
absolutely
be, you know, the right kind of
that's
thing.
the point I was going to say to follow up to you, is like you need to gauge who you're talking to make sure that's okay. Because any given man or woman who's met with a list is going to be like, you know, one of two things, like, oh yeah, this sounds fun, or excuse me, like, why am I being questioned right now? Like, this is why I left my last relationship. You know, like, could be a triggering factor for them. I think you just need to know your audience. Yeah, honestly.
Because, I mean, like I said, it went from, like, lighthearted things, you know, like, what do you do for fun, you know, blah blah blah, to like what positions do you like in sex, and that's where we were very wide eyed, like, we were like, just bring more drinks. Like,
we were gonna leave, not anymore.
No, we left after them.
Good.
At least I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah, y'all had to let them leave, and then y'all had to have, like, your debrief.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know.
Yep. There was another couple one table over. And we had kind of like a small conversation just because the waitstaff was a little slow, but it's a small restaurant, so they were just asking like, hey, did you get your drinks? And, making small talk. And we're pretty sure they picked up on it too, because they were very chatty at the beginning and then they stopped. and so
yeah. At that point, you just had to look over at one of the guy and be like,
yeah.
yeah. This is better than television.
Yeah, I mean, it was very entertaining.
I bet. I bet. I would like to say this, and I think this is another tip here. And this goes along with tip number one, and also you said like what positions do you like in sex, and I find this intriguing to say because I think it's so often overlooked or considered bad, but kiss them,
yeah,
kiss them, and here's what I mean by that, right?
With consent.
Yeah. If the energy is the same.
Yeah.
Right. If you both are having a wonderful night, like take the kiss.
Yeah.
But ladies, kiss him. If you want him, if you like him and he likes you, kiss him. Far too often than not, I feel like men are pressured to be the first one to lean in and get that peck in.
Yeah.
But on the opposite foot here, I have been in a position where I was attacked. Yeah. And it was fun. And it was awesome. Uh-huh. I'll briefly tell this story because this is hilarious to me in hindsight. I just went on a date, and this is actually this is after my hoe phase. This is when I was actually trying to kind of lock in a bit. I was feeling good. I was in the best physical form of my life. Like life was great.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I want to get on the dating scene. So, make a long story short, went on a date with a girl, went to a great pizza place. It was awesome time. We had some drinks, had some great conversation. The night was awesome. The night was feeling great. We were both vibing, chilling, doing our thing. Night was ending. It was time for us to go. We had met at the pizza place. So, she was getting in her car to leave. I was getting in mine. This woman walked me to my car.
Nice.
I'm on my king shit, brother. She walks me to my car, opens the door for me.
Oh, okay.
And then pins me to the side of my car and starts making out with me.
Brother.
And I'm going to tell you, I was not emasculated in any way.
Oh, no.
I was so turned on.
Yeah.
And I remember we were making out, and I'm pretty sure this was our first date. But bear in mind, we had been talking a little bit before this, so we've been texting. But this is our first date, and we're making out, and we're having a good time. And we were in public, like everyone walking by us, going to and this was a nice pizza place. Like it was a top tier place. So you see people going in there wearing suits, and we're just two raunchy 20-year-old or 20-somethings just making out.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
No.
Dudes, let her, for lack of a better term, let her manhandle you once.
Yeah.
Let her get a hold to you, especially if she's down with you like that, and just rock your world because it's different. You really go like, oh shit. You have that split thought of like, is this happening right now?
Yeah.
But then you're like, I don't give a fuck. Like her tongue is in my throat. Like, but here's the funnier part. So bless her heart, bless her sweetheart, and I hope if she's listening, she knows this whole situation. I'm not gonna say her name. I hope you're doing fantastic. She's also married now, so good on you. I want to say this because this ties it in. This is how turned on we both were. Mind you, any man who's getting that racked up right there is getting racked up.
Yeah. Just.
Yeah, 100%. She, the lady bits, got aggressively moist, and to the point in which my pants were soaked.
Oh wow.
Yeah, pretty sure that if it wasn't the fact of that, it was definitely that she came, and that's cool. That's awesome.
Good for her.
Get her rocks off.
Yep.
Hey, by all means, equal rights, equal orgasms.
Yep.
I remember this because I got in my car afterwards. She gave me this last kiss, and she gave me this look on I can't wait to hear from you again. I was just like, I'll call you later. And she goes, absolutely. And I was like, all right, queen. And but I got in my car and I was like, I had the window down. I was like, why is my crotch cold? And I felt, and the entire crotch of my pants was soaked because she was pinned against me.
Yeah.
So I'm like leaned backwards, and her crotch was against mine. And it was one of those moments where I was just like, that's fucking hot. Like, yeah. I like that. I like that. That is like, ladies, attack your man. Men, let her attack you.
Yeah.
And of course, consensually. Yes.
Yeah.
But that is just, and mind you, a lot of this stuff, I want to say this because we preface this all the time. Everything we're saying is with consent. Like, you need to understand it's with consent.
I mean, so why do you start the show off with Rue Hefnell?
You know, I forgot about that. Yeah. I had forgotten about that until this moment. Jesus Christ. Anyways, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. That's no. But yeah, no, 100%. Let her do the tango.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like men are so pressured. Men are so pressured to be the first move maker.
Bro, so little story. Right before I met my wife, I had been single for
a long time,
like 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
2 years, two and a half. We'll call it 3. We'll just round up.
Are you counting? Oh, hang on. Are you counting the chick you dated when you first got here?
Kind of. Like, so I count that as like a half. So like,
okay.
So we'll call it 3 years.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Technically 2, but so I've been single for a while, and I'd finally and I just wasn't looking at all. And then there was a girl that I actually met at work, not working with her. She was a customer, and we were hitting it off and everything. And
been there. That's fun.
And so, and then, and so, it just ended up like, I texted her saying, I shot my shot, and she reciprocated. I was like, sweet. And so we, now I did the dinner and the movie, went to dinner first, and we went to a nice place. But the connection kind of started over a movie, and we went to go see it. So that's why. So like, sometimes it's appropriate to do that, but
I'll give you that. It's the only asterisk I'll give on that.
Yeah.
It's the only one.
But so I remember after that, I was so fucking nervous for the drive home. Because I was like, man, what am I gonna do? Because like it had been a while, and like,
yeah. You felt that pressure of having to make the first move. I felt that pressure,
yeah. And she very much was not the type to make the first move, at all.
Timid,
very timid, very quiet. Just not a go-getter,
not forward
at all. No,
I get it.
And we had a pretty decent connection on the first one, and so I ended up picking her up at her place, dropped her off at her place, walked her to her door. And kind of sort of got the invite, but I didn't get a great vibe off of it. So I didn't push the envelope too much.
Yeah.
And so I just went home. Like, no kiss, no nothing.
Okay.
But I was so fucking nervous and anxious about that.
Did you go on a second date with her?
I did.
Did you kiss her then?
No. That's when we realized we were not compatible. Yeah. Well, it's just like we were both cool with each other, and like we could be friends, but like, we haven't talked since. But we realized that it wasn't really something that we weren't the type to be compatible together. The second date, we went to a kite festival here in town. Down at Zilker Park, they have a giant kite festival. I'm talking tens of thousands of kites up in the air all at the same time. It's a cool look, because especially with the cityscape in the background and everything. Yeah. They have a bunch of vendors and stuff, and it was fun. We got like a shitty little Walmart kite to take there. It was like, I'm pretty sure it was a Paw Patrol one, actually, come to think of it. And
fair.
And it was fun, and we got to talking, and it was just like we kind of had a lot of, there was things that we liked, but then there was other things that we were just kind of like, meh, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we went to eat afterwards. I took her home, and then we were like, hey, yeah. And she was like, yeah. And so we stopped.
A mutual.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
But going back, like, it's that nerve wracking.
So much pressure.
Yes.
So much. I was terrified every second of it.
Honestly, in the comments down below, any women who are listening to this, I really want y'all to comment, if you can, if you've ever been in a position like this, where you felt like you could make the first move.
Yeah.
And give some detail behind it. Because I feel like a lot of guys, 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 go read the comments down below. a lot of guys really, really do feel that same pressure of like they have to make the first move. But I'm going to be very, very upfront and honest with you. In today's society, in today's culture, and this is where we can really relate because we do keep up with this level of stuff, is making the first move is more than just nerve-wracking. It's terrifying because if you misread one thing, you could be the next great cancellation in Twitter.
Yeah.
Like you could be the next big bullseye on Snapchat.
Yeah.
And so many guys are terrified of that. So many people are terrified of that because it's a stigma. It really is now. Like, and ladies, like I'm telling you, especially if you're vibing with that dude, like it goes back to when like the first point of talking about like having sex on the first date, right? Or even if your first date is literally you two having sex and then just hanging out afterwards.
Yeah.
Even a kiss at the end of the night is like if you feel it and you go for it and you both like that was awesome, but you're like you'll know, and I finally I don't know if maybe and also ladies put in the comments like do you feel like you just can't do that? Like is it because it's such a vintage mindset of men always have to be first to do whatever like which was the case for a long time, or is it because like we're at a point now where like I don't know, maybe there needs to be a new trend happening, but in all sincerity, women like take the move. Like it's
and then communicate your feelings about the move.
Yes.
Too. Like if you're not feeling it, don't just take it and then complain about it later. Like just say it. You know, like
be real
look,
about it.
And if the dude or if whoever is still pushing after that, then punch him in the face. Like like no boundaries, of course. Know your boundaries. Yeah.
But yeah, no, like that was honestly a legendary moment because it was just like it had never happened before. And I was very much like, again, as we joked about before, like very, very charismatic, very courageous. I'm the one who like, if someone says you can't tackle that mountain and move it 5 inches, I'm going to find a way to fucking move it 5 inches. Like, especially at that time I was riding that high, and just for that to be a factor of like, oh, this is new.
Oh, I'm sure
like,
that was a huge confidence booster.
Oh my God, dude. I could have made the earth flat.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Go watch a previous episode.
Yeah.
We'll put a little thing up in the corner, wherever that is.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. See?
So I think it's this way, right?
Yeah, it's that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's over there.
Yeah. You gotta look up and to the right.
Yeah.
Yep.
But for you, it's
behind me to the left, literally.
Yes.
Inside. But,
yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's any others before we go.
I mean, really, the biggest thing for me, like that I've discovered is it tends to happen like finding the one that you mesh with really well. It might not always work out at the very end, but when you're not really looking for it, and it's weird because like we already checked this episode.
No, I thought I heard my phone vibrate.
Oh, okay, got you. Are they still on?
Yeah, they're on.
Okay, cool. Because we're running out of battery. So
yeah, shout out to Apple for hooking us up with some great cameras.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I have to, most of the time it's like, you're not necessarily looking for it, and then you just find somebody that you mesh with. Just usually like sometimes friendship, sometimes work, sometimes, some other weird connection. And of course it's different for a lot of people, but okay. Distractions.
Everything is crumbling.
Yep. But yeah, so it, sometimes if you give up looking, that can actually help,
Yeah. No,
because then you get to know yourself and what you like.
Yeah.
And focus on yourself. And then once you're confident in yourself, then you're able to.
I want to say this very strongly. I actually had a conversation, and I'm going to say her name because she's one of my best friends, love her to death. And she knows I was going to talk about her at some point. Allie, I love you to death, but I'm going to bring you up here. One of my best friends, Allie, she got out of a very, very rough situation. And I gave her that exact same input. Yeah. She was like, I don't know what I should do. I don't know if I should even try and find another guy. I'm like, find yourself first.
Yeah.
Go back and find yourself.
Yep.
Not that every situation is going to be where you're getting out of the most rough, intense scenario.
No.
But it's always smart to go find yourself first.
Definitely.
Because if you don't know what you like, if you Okay.
At least I can't see this.
If you don't know what you like, or you don't know, not necessarily about a person, but more so about yourself. Like, what hobbies do you have? What likes do you have? What enjoyments do you look forward to? Are you the kind of person who you used to be able to go out and drink all night, every night, and now you're the person who stays at home, cuddled under a blanket with some Netflix, and you're looking for someone to just be your couch potato with you? Or maybe it's the exact opposite, where you were a couch potato, but you know what? You're a blossom and butterfly. You're gonna put on the hottest outfit you got, and you're gonna go out and enjoy the club.
Yep.
Who knows? But you won't know unless you actually go find it.
Yeah.
And shout out to her. She did. She found it. She started working. She put herself back in the mindset, and she got herself a really great guy.
Nice.
I'll never tell him that to his face. Don't show him this episode. I got to keep on his toes.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. But she found a really great guy, and I mean, they are so fucking compatible.
Yeah.
Every time she and I talk, it's always this and this and this, and we did this and we did this and we did this and we did this and we really enjoyed this and we really enjoyed this and we're doing this and this and this and our schedules are kind of weird, but we're still able to do. And I'm like, yes, it's perfect. You have found the perfect scenario.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. And a lot of people feel like they get locked in.
Yeah.
And they can't do that. Like, no, seriously, find yourself first.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Take some time. Really.
No, that first 2 years that I was here, I found myself a lot there.
Yeah.
And so that's what helped me eventually land my wife. So.
Yeah. I look back too, and I think, especially in my hoe phase, that's part of why I had my hoe phase is because I wasn't taking time to find myself. I was just riding the high of my life.
Yeah.
Because for those who don't know, I was playing in a band at the time, traveling all the time.
Yeah.
And I was in a different city every weekend. Mm-hmm. Like some weekends I'm in 2 or 3 different cities.
Yeah.
And I was just living it up, and I didn't really take the time to find myself back home, or because, to me, my personality was based around my music.
Yeah.
I found enjoyment in my music. I found enjoyment in being on the road. You can't sustain that with somebody on the road.
No.
Unfortunately, it's just like the people the bands out there who are married with kids and to make it work, shout out to them.
Yeah.
Because that is very tough to do. Mm-hmm. I remember very vividly, I tried to make that work once.
Yeah.
Once. And it was horrible.
Yep.
Very, very bad. Mm-hmm. But then, and I always joke about my hoe phase, but that's where I was like, you know what? Ain't nothing wrong with me getting in with some ladies who also want to just hoe around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Have a good time. And that's what I did. And yeah, it was fine too. And then when I got home and when I got off the road and I started really locking myself into what I enjoyed, ta-da,
Yeah.
you find that. I do think one last tip I would like to provide, if I may, if you haven't learned anything from this yet, just take this as a kind of a catch-all, is nobody knows what the fuck they're talking about.
No.
Because
especially us.
your parents are old. Your parents grew up in a different generation. Your friends are all living their lives. You got to figure out what works for you. Mm-hmm. That's all it is.
Yeah.
No one knows what the fuck's going on in this world. We're all just we are all literal specks of dust just trying to figure out which way the wind blows.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that's, if you can figure out your own little wind gust, awesome. Good job. Do it. That's the best way to boil this down, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's what works for you and what works for the other person as well. If that's compatible, that's compatible. You'll stay together usually.
Yeah. But I think let us know in the comments what you think about all those dating tips. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have any stories you'd like to tell us? We'd love to read some stories.
Oh yeah, that'd be some good. So your wins, your losses, all of it.
Yes.
Where we all have our ups and downs.
And we will do a continuation of this episode with all your stories. We'd love to hear them. You can also email them to us at thelousypodcast@gmail.com. Right there. Thanks, Future Sam. You're awesome.
So much
don't tell him I said that.
I don't think he heard you.
Good. But yeah, let us know your stories. And also, if you're watching this right now and you don't have any comment at all, drop an emoji, preferably a peach, because we like, peach gang. Is there anything left? No, there isn't.
So.
We're done. We're checking out. So yeah, now there's a button timing. There's a button behind me. Click it, subscribe.
Yep.
And then hit that like button down below. We greatly appreciate it. Helps the show, helps the channel grow. If you're listening to us on any listening sites, hit the follow button. But we're out of here. Later.
Peace.